see two of the best.
The southpaw Sanchez against the conventional fighter Barrera.
You know, one thing Barrera does a very beautiful, he counters with a jab. I guess having fought a few southpaws recently, he's learned to fight them pretty good. And most guys that fight southpaws forget to use their left jab. They depend on strictly right hands, because that's the standard in the industry. But he uses his left jab very effectively.
He waits for the southpaw to throw the right jab and counters over it with his own.
Yes, he works very well off of the southpaw's jabs when they jab. He does a lot of different things.
Sanchez lands a counter right. Barrera, in addition to the counter left jab that Emmanuel just described to you, has a sizzling left again. There you go. Countering over the top of the right. Double left hook to the body by Barrera.
And his body and balance position is unbelievable.
Just a pro.
A seasoned pro, I guess, turned pro at 50. Yep. 27 years old.
And you know, to prove the dictum that styles make fights, Barrera is so good and so adjustable that you wonder who could beat him. But in 2 fights against Junior Jones, he lost twice. Knocked out once, decision the second time. To this day, Barrera's bewildered as to how it is that he could have lost twice to Junior Jones, because he figures, I'm smart enough, I'm adjustable enough, I'd beat anyone the second time.
But that's once again styles. Styles make fights. Certain fighters will always give other fighters problems, much like Kenny Norton was always a problem with Muhammad Ali. And Roberto Duran. Roberto Duran had so much problems with Thomas Hearns, but nevertheless, the big guys, he fought Iran Barkley, and he just walked to them easy. But it's just a certain style of maybe rhythm or chemistry between certain guys that is effective.
Enrique Sanchez, since his last fight, fired longtime trainer Nacho Beristain, one of the better-known Mexican trainers, and has a new trainer named Antonio Jimenez. Now, you know, at this stage of your career, 12 years in as a pro, you're fighting for the first time with a new trainer. That's always an interesting adjustment.
It's a big adjustment, especially going in with a fighter like Barrera. But evidently, he felt that he had to do something different.
Well, he got butted and cut in his last fight against Carlos Contreras, and in a way, the butt prevented a loss because he was trailing at the time when it happened. And maybe he felt as though if he was losing to somebody like Contreras, he needed a change.
Well, I would say this much, regardless of who's training, I think Sanchez is fighting a very beautiful fight.
Sanchez coming out trying to make a statement with the right jab in the first round. Barrera has had his moments also. Good competitive round 1 of what should be an excellent fight. And in both corners where they speak Spanish, our interpreter is Ray Torres.
You got to be real live. Make sure you come in with that jab. That jab is important. You got to throw that jab so he doesn't come in. You move to your right a little bit. You know what to do with the southpaws. Deep breaths, deep breaths. Don't let him take the initiative. You go first. You got to jab him. Don't let him come in. Make sure that
There's Barrera fighting in his relatively measured style. Left to the head, left to the body. The instructions from the corner of Sanchez was for him to go first, and he is.
This is turning out to be a very good technical fight. Not a brawl, not your typical Mexican type fight, but very technical and scientific. But Barrera's balance is what's given him such a great advantage oftentimes. And he picks punches with very minimal effort.
There was a feeling after the 2 losses to Jones that Barrera had slipped. And he came back brilliantly with his enormous performance against Morales in the fight of the year for the year 2000. Looked even better against Jesus Salud and scored the dramatic win over Hamed. He's really at his peak as a public commodity in the sport right now.
But he's also coming off certainly one of the biggest fights of his career, and sometimes there's a danger of letting down after such an effort and all the accolades that come with it.
Barrera's trying to do a very interesting thing, Manny. He wants to out-jab the southpaw.
That's very unusual because most guys very seldom use the jab. And he's actually beaten it with his left hand, more so than the right. That's, once again, good balance. He can shoot a body punch and pull back before the guy can even retaliate.
Investing in these early rounds in body shots.
Yes, he's trying to shoot the left hook to the body, which is very difficult because of the angle of the body position when you're fighting a southpaw. It usually lands on the upper cage frame where it's really not that effective. He needs to shoot it more to the inside if he could. That was a good left uppercut.
And the right uppercut. Little left hook to the body, all by Barrera. Sanchez hasn't yet been able to muster the accuracy to take Barrera out of his play. Big left hook upstairs by Marco Antonio, and he drives Sanchez into the ropes. So the rally at the end of round 2 clearly establishes the winner in that round.
Pero ¿por qué te quedaste parado? Por eso te agarró.
Why did you stand there? That's why he hit you. You're so still. You gotta move.
Es yo porque estás metiendo, manda lo que arriba.
Yes, you
manda
gotta throw
lados. Mantén el llave.
over them left and right.
Esta.
Come on, I want you to use that left hand. One and let it go. You gotta jab and then throw that left hand. Don't just stand there. That's why he hit you. You gotta be smart. Come on. Put your hands up and...
Here comes the exclamation point on that round. Beautiful right hand after ducking the left hand of Sanchez. World-class stuff from a world-class fighter.
CompuBox numbers in round 2. Barrera landed 20 punches. 18 of those connects were power shots. Sanchez landing only 8. He only landed 7 in the first round. Sanchez needs to land more punches if he's going to take Barrera out of his rhythm.
That's once again, Barrera's actually doing the boxing most. He's working a lot with his jab. And even when he don't land often with the left jab, it's breaking up the right hand punch that's coming in from Sanchez. It's deflecting it midway.
Seated at ringside across from us, Oscar De La Hoya here this evening because the former Olympic fighter, down goes Sanchez on a brilliant right hand.
Classic move when you're fighting a southpaw. A half a step when he shoots the jab and shoots your right hand. Just enough to make him lose his balance for 1 split second.
Vic Draculich wipes Sanchez's gloves, and Barrera will take a look to see how much damage has been done.
Suddenly Sanchez's head is squared up.
Barrera goes right back to boxing.
Very relaxed, very patient, very balanced. And always in great position. Should be defensive and offensive.
This is clinical. This is just a clinic. This is a destruction of a pretty good fighter by a guy who has risen to a new level in his career.
And this Sanchez is looking good himself. He's doing everything proper, except he's in with a fantastic fighter tonight.
Now, Larry talked about the potential for letdown. The other potential is that your confidence soars and you get even better.
Well, at least went to a new level.
You know, and I think that shows in being a little less rushed, a little under more control and positive in the way you do it on balances, as we've been pointing out. Steps aside, throws one, moves out again.
He's doing so many things. He may do it out of shuffle next. It wouldn't surprise me.
That would surprise me.
Oh, boy.
That could be scored a 10-8 round under Nevada's new scoring rules.
Your hands got to be up now. Listen now. Listen. When you throw it in the low, you have to move your hands down and up. Don't leave your hands on top and throw the bottom. Yes, up and down. And make sure the jab is moving.
That obviously is a 10-8 round because of the knockdown early in the round. But in Nevada today, they're calling for more 10-8 rounds in which one fighter dominates the other fighter. So even without a knockdown, that might have been a 10-8 round for Barrera.
The new policy became critical recently when Paulie Ayala got a close victory over Bones Adams in Las Vegas, largely on the strength of a second round in which Ayala didn't knock Bones Adams down, but landed one big punch and got a 10-8 score from all three judges. Harold, how do you have this one so far?
Okay, Jim, 3-0, 30-26, Marco Antonio Barrera. As Larry pointed out, without question, round 3 becomes 10-8 because of the knockdown. Marco landing the cleaner, harder shots throughout the first 2 rounds. You know, Jim, sometimes you watch a fight on TV, you lose the velocity of the punch. When you watch it close at ringside like this, the judges sit in raised seats that can feel the velocity, and Marcos landed a really harder shots.
And Sanchez just landed a right hand that might have been his best punch of the fight.
Sanchez is fighting an extremely determined fight. I'm looking at the look in his eyes as if he feels that he would die if he had to win this fight.
Oh, there's a lot of want to, no question about it.
I can see the professional pride, and especially the pride from Mexico, but he's going to be dangerous all the way through this fight.
Once again, Barrera with heavier punches starts to back Sanchez up.
Classic fights, the same as when he fought Morales, Salud, and he's really going to be maybe the best balanced out fighter in boxing today. We need to seriously look at where he stands in these pound-for-pound ratings that they're coming.
Well, he ranks in almost all the pound-for-pound listings in the top 10 now. The question is, can he move into the top 5?
Well, from what I can see tonight, he's definitely on his way. I've been very impressed because the quality of guys he's been beating so impressively recently.
Well, the blood now coming out of Sanchez's mouth. You know, the top pound-for-pound fighters generally thought to be, you know, Trinidad, Mosley, Jones, De La Hoya, Hopkins, Mayweather, with Barrera falling in right behind them. But if he fights another fight or two like this, he's going to crash the top 5.
And especially he's fighting quality fighters that he's beating too. You know, I was amazed when he fought Palmer how physically strong he has become in the last few years. Even though he was moving up from 122, he was physically stronger than a man who'd been fighting at 126 and actually physically manhandling him.
Oh, what a left hook. What a left hook. And Sanchez goes down as a delayed reaction from the sensational left hook by Barrera. So perfectly thrown. So unbalanced.
Unbelievable.
That was a very smart thing that Sanchez did. He instantly realized he was hurt, and rather than expose himself to another barrage, he took a knee.
But he got another 10-8 round against him.
Well, but he survived.
Listen, do you want to continue the fight? You want me to stop it? How you feeling? You don't want to go on? All right. Yes, I want to go on. Okay. You want to go or not? I need to know. Nothing. It's all right. I'm going to give you one more round. One more round you're going to get.
There's the punch. You saw it was like a delayed parachute that opened, and you heard what was going on in the corner. They don't want to see their fighter take a really bad licking.
But Barrera's shooting a very unusual amount of left-hand punches for a right-hander to be fighting a southpaw, and it's very effective. In fact, to me, that's been the nucleus of his attack tonight. It's been the busy left hand that everything else is working off of.
It's his vision, it's his timing, it's his technical brilliance, it's his determination to make it work regardless of what might stand up against it.
I wish I could get him up to 150 pounds and throw him right in the midst of the welterweights and junior middleweights.
Wouldn't that be great?
Interesting. Yeah, Shane Mosley, Trinidad, De La Hoya, Marcus Antonio Barrera, all the same weight.
Figure into that mix, huh?
Yeah, he's just really out of place as a featherweight now. He's in a class by himself now.
So Sanchez fighting to try to stay in the fight after his cornerman told him they'd give him one more round. And Barrera just trying to continue the clinical destruction of Sanchez, which has been taking place so far. Enrique Sanchez is a former world champion. He held the 122-pound championship for 10 months in 1998 and lost it unexpectedly to Nestor Garza. So this is a world caliber fighter that Barrera is doing this against.
Blood from the nose and mouth of Sanchez.
No.
Right hand lead that time. Landed flush. Left hand to the body by Barrera. Sanchez totally determined. Spirited effort by Sanchez to turn the tide a little bit.
Something happened earlier in this round. I saw something happen in the face of Barrera that maybe seemed like he suffered some kind of temporary injury. I noticed that we threw a left-hand punch and seemingly he flinched, and he's backed off a lot since then for a moment to regroup.
As though he hurt a hand?
Something happened, I believe. I mean, he's had to regroup for a moment.
He's all right now.
A little bit better.
He's okay. Manny, he's doing fine.
This is a terrible beating that Sanchez is absorbing, and they might stop the fight in the corner after this round.
Body and head.
Awesome display of talent. Very few wasted punches, too.
Now, he's not a guy who goes out and throws 70, 80 punches around. Doesn't have to. He makes his punches count.
As he did in the fight with Morales. And Ahmed. And salute.
There you go.
Okay, how do you feel now? You look better in this round, but you're still getting hit too much. You gotta throw more punches. Come on, you gotta do something. We could do it. If you don't throw punches, he's gonna take all the initiative. He's gonna be first. Do you understand me? You gotta know what to. You gotta throw punches. You gotta connect hard.
Cuando estés ahí en el centro, mira.
When you're in the center, bob and move, bob and weave.
Let's go. Let's go.
As round 6 begins, you heard the action in Sanchez's corner. Let's see if Enrique can respond by throwing more punches. The real job is to try to land more. Because we've been talking about Barrera's offense, and for obvious reasons, but CompuBox Wizards Logan Hobson and Bob Canobio point out, what about the defense? Sanchez only landing 15% of his punches so far.
And what's beautiful about the defense of Barrera is when he blocks punches or protects himself, he does it with such little effort that he's always in position to punch back right away. He doesn't do too much excessive movement at all when he defends himself.
Good news for Sanchez. The area above his left eye has held up. He had a super deep cut in his last fight against Carlos Contreras off a headbutt, and he had to worry coming in as to whether it would open up again.
Same move again that Barrera makes, where you net your miss slightly with your right jab, just enough to lose your balance, and counters back with a right hand.
And you say that's the classic move against the southpaw.
Move against the southpaw. And he goes right back with his left jab after that, which most right-handers don't do when they're fighting southpaws.
Look at him counter with the left jab there. Right over the top.
That's it again. Have the step, shoot the right.
Sanchez getting to the body, but having to reach on those shots to do so. Meanwhile, Barrera steps inside to land his punches, so there's a bigger effect.
He changed up. Instead of throwing the right hand straight, this time he threw the right hand around as a hook mounting. So it's causing Sanchez confusion of trying to anticipate which way the punches are going to come. Now he's jabbing to the inside. Instead of jabbing over the shoulder, he's jabbing between his right hand now.
And there's the right hand counter again. Another combination lands for Barrera. And again, he sticks the right hand.
And back with the jab after that.
And of course, in addition to everything we're mentioning, there's the concentration level required to keep it up second after second.
Oh, left uppercut.
Fight.
He was acting as if he was going to jab instead, change it to a left uppercut. There it is again.
And again, the blood flows from Sanchez's nose.
A good fighter in Sanchez is simply being outclassed.
Mark your calendars for these upcoming shows. Thursday night at 8 p.m. Catch the regular season premiere of Inside the NFL, kicking off its 25th year. Immediately after at 9, stay tuned for the next edition of Real Sports with Brian Gumbel. Next Saturday night on TVKO pay-per-view finale of the middleweight unification series between Felix Trinidad and Bernard Hopkins. And a week later, Fernando Vargas takes on Shibata Flores for a vacant 154-pound world title. HBO, the heart and soul of boxing. Sports of the 20th Century returns this November with OJ, a study in black and white. And they have just stopped the fight.
I think it was a good stoppage.
Did it come out of Sanchez's corner? I was doing a promo.
Sanchez's corner. Too often we've seen a corner that was too brave. They don't want to ruin the fighter. They did the right thing.
They had made up their mind before the round had ended. I could see that they were going to stop the fight.
And they stopped the fight in the face of, just to repeat what we've said all along, a brilliant, dominant, technical performance by a guy who just seems, at this relatively advanced stage of his career, to be getting better and better and better.
I don't see how they can keep him out of the top 5 on the pound for pound right now, especially when you consider the quality of opponents he fought. Probably he and Felix Trinidad probably fought more quality guys consecutively than any of the present top fighters up there.
Man, if he goes to the top 5, in those pound-for-pound rankings, he replaces either Oscar De La Hoya or Floyd Mayweather Jr.
Well, it's going to be hard for
both
those
great
guys.
fighters.
It's going to be hard, but they have not fought the quality of guys consistently and been that impressively. I mean, recently.
All right, let's go to Michael Buffer and hear the particulars on Barrera's victory.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Vic Drakulich calls a halt to the bout following encouragement from Enrique Sanchez's corner. The end comes at the end of round number 6. The winner and still the people's featherweight champion, the babyface assassin, Marco Antonio